Some sounds do not come from the road. They come from inside the heart. And when a person obeys every sound, he forgets how to hear the true one. In a small village from long ago, there lived a young man named Leo. Leo was strong. Leo was kind. But Leo had one problem. He answered everything. If two men whispered near the market, Leo turned at once. If a woman sighed by the well, Leo thought something was wrong. If a dog barked in the dark, his chest grew tight. If the wind hit a loose shutter at night, he sat up in bed with cold hands. His ears were never at rest. His mind was never still. The village woke with simple sounds. Wood cracked in ovens. Buckets touched stone. Goats pulled at rope. Bread gave off its warm smell before sunrise. But Leo heard danger in all of it. He worked for the baker each morning. He carried flour. He swept the floor. He brought bread to old homes at the edge of the village. Yet even at work, his attention ran away from him. One morning, while he tied bread with rough string, he heard two men speaking in low voices outside. One said, "It will happen before noon." Leo froze. His fingers stopped. Flour dust hung in the air. Before he could think, he left the bread on the table and hurried into the street to follow them. The morning air was cold. His sandals slapped the stone path. Somewhere, a rooster cried again. He followed the men, past the well, past the fig tree, past the grain store. Then he heard the rest. They were talking about rain, only rain. Leo stood there, breathing hard, feeling foolish. When he returned, 2 loaves had fallen to the floor. A dog had torn one open. The baker said nothing for a long moment. That silence hurt more than anger. Leo lowered his head. His face burned, but he did not change. A few days later, he smelled smoke near the lower houses. It was thick. It was bitter. It pushed into his nose and throat. Leo dropped the basket in his hands and shouted, "Fire! Fire!" Near the ovens, people ran. Doors opened. Feet struck the ground. A baby began to cry, but there was no fire. Only wet wood in an old oven. Only a little smoke. Only another false alarm. This time, some people laughed. Not with cruelty, but enough. Leo felt the sound of that laughter like small stones in his chest. That evening, he did not go to the square. He sat alone beside a wall that still held the day's warmth. That was when Adam came to him. Adam had once watched the village at night. He was old now. His beard was white. His steps were slow, but his eyes missed very little. He sat beside Leo. For a while, he said nothing. They heard crickets. They heard a donkey breathe behind a fence. They heard wind move through dry leaves. Then Adam said, "You are tired." Leo gave a weak smile. "My ears are tired before the rest of me." Adam nodded. "That is because you answer every knock, even the knocks that are not for you." Leo looked at him. "I only want to be ready." Adam reached into his cloak and took out a small brass bell. It was old. Its handle was smooth from many hands. It gave off a dull gold light in the evening sun. Adam placed it in Leo's palm. "Carry this tomorrow," he said. All day, Leo turned it over. In his hand, it felt cool and a little heavy. Adam went on, "Ring it only. When something truly needs you, not your fear, not your guess, not your restless mind, only a true need." Leo frowned. "And how will I know?" Adam looked toward the darkening road. "You will know when the moment asks for your hands, not just your thoughts." That night, Leo slept badly. The bell lay beside him. Moonlight touched its small round mouth. Once or twice, he almost reached for it just because. The shutters moved in the wind, but he stopped and waited. Morning came with chill air and the smell of ash and fresh bread. Leo tied the bell to his belt and began his day. The first test came early. 2 women stood near the well, speaking in low voices. Leo caught only half a sentence. He should have known. At once, his mind began to race. Who should have known? What had happened? Who was in trouble? His hand moved toward the bell, then he stopped. No one was crying. No one was calling. No one needed his hands. So he walked on. The second test came near midday. A cartwheel hit a stone. The sound cracked. Through the lane, a mule jerked. A child shouted. Leo's chest tightened. His fingers closed around the bell. But then he saw the child stand up, brush dust from his knees, and laugh. The moment asks for your hands, not just your thoughts. So Leo listened again, more carefully. This time, no cry for help. No running feet, no danger, only life, only the rough, ordinary noise of people living close together. For the first time in many years, Leo did not chase it. He breathed. Slowly, the day moved on. Then, near sunset, a real sound rose into the lane. Not loud, not dramatic, but wrong. A short cry, a rope, pulling hard. Again, he let the bell rest by afternoon. The sun was high and heat rose from the walls. Sweat ran down Leo's back. The bell knocked softly against his side with every step. Then came the third test. A shutter banged. A dog barked. A clay pot broke somewhere beyond the doorway. Leo stopped. So fast, dust rose around his feet. His heart beat hard. His mouth had gone dry. He almost rang it. Almost. But he remembered Adam's words. A clay jar striking stone. Leo turned near the well. Miriam had slipped on spilled water. One hand held the well rope. The other reached for the edge. Her jar had broken beside her. Water spread dark across the dust. Now, the moment needed hands. Leo did not think. He rang the bell. Its sound was clear and bright. One clean note, then another. Not wild, not panicked. True. People looked up at once. Adam came from the far side of the lane. A man left his doorway. 2 women ran from the ovens. Leo reached Miriam first. He caught her arm, his shoulder pressed against the stone rim. The rope burned across his palm. His knees hit the ground. "Hold me," Miriam said. "I have you," Leo said. Others arrived. Hands joined hands. The rope was pulled clear. Miriam was lifted away from the edge for a few breaths. No one spoke. They only listened to the sound of breath returning, to the rope settling on stone, to the last small shake. In Miriam's voice, then Adam looked at Leo. This time, Leo understood before the old man spoke. The whole day had been full of noise, but only one sound had carried truth. Only one sound had asked for courage. Only one sound had asked for action. That evening, Adam and Leo sat again by the warm wall. The sky had turned, soft and red. Swallows crossed. Above them, the bell rested. Between them, on the stone, Leo said, "I thought wisdom meant hearing more." Adam smiled. "No, wisdom means hearing rightly." Leo looked down at the bell. All his life, he had been a servant to every passing sound, every rumor, every shadow, every fear. But fear was loud. That did not mean it was true. From that day on, Leo still listened, but he listened differently. He finished the work in his hands before turning. To every whisper, he let some sounds pass like wind past a closed door. And when a true need came, he was no longer scattered. He was ready. People in the village noticed the change. Leo moved, more slowly now, but he helped more deeply. His hands became steadier. His sleep became softer. His face lost its constant strain. And some evenings, when the village grew quiet, he held the little bell in his hand without ringing it at all. He no longer needed to answer every sound. He had learned to wait for the real one. If this story touched something in you, ask yourself gently, which noises rule your day? Which fears sound urgent, but ask nothing real? From your hands, what would change if you answered only what is true? Tonight, give one quiet moment to the thing that truly matters. And if this story stayed with you, stay close. For the next one, there are more quiet lessons ahead. Thank you for listening. May your heart grow calm and your hearing grow wise.